Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ace Attorney Investigations in honor of the new game that got released, or at least the new collection. Decided to go through my own little collection and post this bad boy. Just scooch some things and do a thing. There we go. And we'll give it precisely 5 minutes. But if after 5 minutes we're not done, then we're not. Then we'll see. I also just noticed that that the layout's a little. There we go. There's that. On the fly, squash and stretch. How does that look? That looks interesting. The game like this and how it's being captured, have to fiddle fuck around with it a little bit, but seems like we are doing just fine. Alright. I suppose we'll kick into it then. And if people trickle in, so be it. So I get to learn about Kay Faraday. And where Miles Edgeworth was, like, 7 years ago. Also, the prosecutor is Mr. Faraday. An accusation is made. There's some wild ass shit occurring. And a familiar face in the foreground. Hi, Edgeworth. Back when he looked even more foppish. And his first prosecutorial assignment, interestingly. Hello, Manfred von Karma. That such a legendary prosecutor is watching over and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. And I believe this is past Edgeworth's thoughts on the man, not current Edgeworth, so... Right. I need to remember how to play this goddamn game. Yeah, this does seem like a very farcical accusation. Explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. No man is above the law. A few exceptions, such as... Well, yeah, prosecutorial immunity. No reason to even deal with such individuals. And a prosecutor is one of the court with no obligation outside matters. Thus, there's a reason to deal with such individuals. Let's see. The power of Von Karma. Do I have anything in the organizer? Just my badge. Okay. Firm understanding of the case. Alright, let's see if we know what we're talking about. Murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Cadopian Embassy. The victor, Mr. Deed Mann, was a staff member at the embassy. Defendant, Mac Rell, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. Quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun! And at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Cadopian Embassy as well. At first, Rell claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deed Mann. Wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie. Possibly wanted to go down the spotlight if he was found guilty. Alright. Some people are inane. That is true, unfortunately. During trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. And the footage clearly showed Mr. Rell as the murderer. The act of Mr. Rell firing the gun is it's literally on camera, clearly visible from the visitor's gallery. Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to by the real Yatagarasu, Bern Faraday. However, I've forgotten one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Cadopian Embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident. Second KG-8. Fear I failed to study it hard enough. Well, even among the police, it's information only a select few are privy to. What do you mean by second KG8? First, know the context of the original case. 3 old newspaper. We have heard of the Amano group scale. Ah, like Lance Amano. Or Ernest. He was arrested under suspicion of smuggling. CCU was an employee of the Amano group and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Wasn't a Kodopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder? Yep, a Kodopian by the name of Manny Cochin. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Faraday was the prosecution on the case then. He's pathetic as ever. Ah, so the victim was meant to be testifying again.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Anaya.
Hey.
How's it going?
It goes. Sorry for being a touch late. I wound up sleeping in a little bit.
That's quite all right. People are going to trickle in, but I'll give you the 1 minute clarification of what's gone on. I only started really at the top of the hour.
Okay.
So to recap, Kay Faraday, who you know, of course,
Yes.
at the end of chapter 3 in the theme park said that, oh, she knows Edgeworth, even though he fucking completely forgot. And produced a cut of clean white fabric of some description, of which Edgeworth recognized and has now drawn us into chapter 4 of his memories. The premise of chapter 4, as it begins, is this is 7 years in the past, and this is actually Edgeworth's first prosecutorial assignment. In court.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, like, he's extremely young to be doing this, but Manfred von Karma, his mentor, is pulling some strings to make this happen. Is who we're talking to currently. In the picture you can see, there is a victim who was killed, Mr. Deed Mann.
Okay, so like about me being able to see.
Oh, right, Discord.
Could I get a visual on Discord, please?
You certainly can. My apologies.
It's okay.
Give me just a moment. Let me know what you can. Let me know how well and if you can see the full arrangement. I know it's.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Cool. I tried to work very hard to get this all set up once again.
Yeah, it's nice.
On the bottom is the victim, Mr. Deed Mann. I don't know if he shows up. Yeah. So that's Manfred. Hold on. Yep, there he is. This is the man who is gunned down in front of the embassy by Mr. Mac Rell. And he was supposed to be on trial for the murder that was caught on camera and that he was actively denying, right? He said that he was the Yatagarasu who apparently managed to successfully get into the embassy those 7 years ago, but he was claiming he was Yatagarasu and didn't kill him. Now it's proven that he killed him, and he swapped up his story that it's like, yeah, but that prosecutor, Bern Faraday, is the one who told me to do it because he's the real Yatagarasu.
Oh, okay. So we're getting some Yatagarasu lore.
Yep. So this is Bern Faraday, which is, by the way, to me, hilarious that someone who is known to have perjured and lied in court would be believed, like, at all. Like, just...
Yeah, it's like how can I trust anything that comes out of your mouth, bud?
I mean, literally, Manfred von Karma, for being a prick, he is right that this trial should have lasted, like, 1 minute. Show the video, and if he changes, like, objection, Your Honor, this is a hostile witness, and his word can't be trusted. We have him on video killing a guy. Lock him up.
We literally have him on video killing a guy.
Yeah. But because of this whole mess, and because it's Ace Attorney, right?
Right. There has to be, like, 20 other confounding things happening.
Yeah. We have been brought in as Miles Edgeworth to kind of understand and, like, kind of finish cleaning up the prosecutor's mess, right? The only other thing that's been explained so far is in evidence that this is being called, quote-unquote, the second KG-8 incident, which is to say, per the details of the incident overview, the original KG-8 was that someone from the Amano group, like Lance and Ernest Amano, the rich people from Chapter 3, their butler, the guy who died, I can't remember his name at the moment, I apologize.
No, you're good. I can't remember shit, so you're fine.
Yeah. The guy who died was arrested on suspicion of smuggling. And there was one witness, Miss CCU, who was going to testify about that smuggling ring. However, before she could get to trial, she was killed by a Canopian Embassy staff member named Mandy Cochin.
So, we got the whistleblower special.
Yeah, got the whistleblower special. And because of a lack of evidence, Mandy Cochin was found not guilty. CCU is dead, and that quote-unquote shadow over the Amano group of the suspicion of smuggling. But this is kind of being called the second KG-8 because this is another instance where a witness was silenced before they could get to trial. Because Mr. Deed Man was supposedly yeah. I'm saying his name
We're really having fun with the names in this game.
I mean, to be fair, his name is Dead Man. It's like, on one hand, fun with the names, but also there's a certain aspect where I'm like, I'm trying to say his name right, because otherwise I'm just calling him a dead man. And that feels harsh, perhaps.
Disrespectful to the clear extra character.
Yeah.
Lol, Lamau.
But it is what it is. And so
it is what it is.
Now we're having a talk with Manfred von Karma before, like, while we're in our hour of recess. And we're gonna head into court, supposedly, to, like, clean up the mess.
And we're gonna find a fucking conspiracy worse than any of us could have possibly imagined.
Anyways, so victim was murdered just before his day in court against smuggling.
Oh my god! Edgeworth!
Back when he was even, like, I mean, this is the jacket that he has on his wall, if you remember, the one that got shot, or nearly got shot through.
Yeah.
Which, like, fair enough, with the cravat and everything, he pulls off, he almost looks like a pirate captain, to be honest.
He looks like the prince of a foreign country.
He really does. But all the guys in these games, or at least a lot of the protagonist guys, have nice shoulders, so they pull it off very well.
Nice shoulders.
Listen, these are the things that you notice.
Yeah?
These are the things I notice.
Okay, please continue.
Alright. Yep. I also just noticed on stream, and apologies for having it distract me ever so me see about... Okay, there we go. There was just a test message I had of, like, I love this game or something like that, and it wasn't clearing from, like, half an hour ago. So I'm like, alright, let's find the one switch that I accidentally flipped and reflipped that switch. But anyways, so second KG8 incident, but there is a major difference between the two. And the so-called noble thief that everyone is going up in an uproar. So what do you have to say about the Yatagarasu? So if it's true it showed up at the embassy, what could he or she have been after? Steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or steal secrets from the Kodopian embassy itself, since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police. Interesting.
Oh god, it really is going to be some whistleblower shit.
And what was sent to the police? Ooh, Yatagarasu's top secret. Even Manfred can't get his hands on it.
Oh, shit.
Fascinating. By returning the stolen item to police, who've proved positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. I mean, we do love our Yatagarasu, the one we know, but criminals really do have a way of incriminating themselves, that's true.
Yeah. Especially in this game.
Mm-hmm. Ask Faraday. Interesting. And he happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well. Interesting!
Dead ass?
Very interesting if it happens. Oh. I just imagine Manfred. What is it, little girl?
Oh god. He does look kind of scary.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, he really is a pro.
Fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies, but it looks like you have exactly $1.
Incredible. Incredible deduction skills.
Is the child in here to watch the trial?
He's gonna go buy a soda.
I mean, it's a child running around, Manfred. Chill the fuck out.
Oh my god.
Paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is complete. Do you know how much time left before the thing is resumed? I could have you mopping out this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant.
Jesus Christ, you don't have to go Karen.
Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. Collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. Alright, let's go collect the evidence from Faraday and go to court as Edgeworth.
Whee!
Mind you, it is now 4 p.m. on the dot.
I'm digging the pipe organ.
Where the hell is Faraday? And where the hell is the defense? Where is everybody?
Hello?
Motherfucker, it's your job to pay attention. Manfred's gonna fucking rake you over the coals.
This man is becoming a janitor.
Well, there's the judge, at least. Hi, Judge.
Wow, he had to change it all.
He just kind of caught, like, a little riper in age.
Yeah.
Is there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? Just when I heard a popper going off. That's weird. But we don't have the evidence from Faraday.
Talking about a handicap.
It's an emergency, sis. Fucking toss the bailiff aside.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, isn't that a familiar little figure?
My man Gumshoe.
Hey, Gummy. In the defendant lobby, Mr. Faraday and the defendant.
Are they dead?
They're both dead!
Oh my god! Man, now we have to get a fucking medium in here. Does anyone know a medium in the Ace Attorney series?
I mean, a lot of people know a medium. They're just up a mountain there somewhere. Stay back.
Who the fuck are you?
No one's allowed on the
Weird-ass
crime scene,
motherfucker.
period. Who's this oddball think he is? And, yeah, that was the defense attorney. We don't know her name yet. Oh, you were just running, Gumshoe.
Everyone's going so crazy about running in the halls.
I'll never find out what's going on like this. Time for some civil discourse. Let's start with the woman. I even picked up fucking Manfred von Karma's fucking physical tics.
Of course you did. That is the correct response. Oh my god. Oh my god.
One who gallantly presents the bag.
Oh, Edgeworth. Oh, Edgeworth.
Tried to make me laugh so much my sides might hurt. Ah, Callisto you. Alright.
You. Man, everyone is related to fucking everyone in this shit, huh?
Mm-hmm. We were about to go head-to-head in court, but, you're a regular shit. That one... Edgeworth, you're fine.
I don't know, he probably said it in a much more polite register in the original Japanese, would be my guess. It
Yeah.
wouldn't translate well into English. If that was the case, that's just my theory. Like, I'm imagining Edgeworth talking in straight Kegel right now, it's very funny.
Yeah. Why do you keep laughing at me? I mean, to be fair, we are pretty lacking in tact.
Yeah.
All right, let's go talk with the detective. So, fair question. Who are you?
Oops, the fuck?
Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide.
Okay, so I know I said Guilty Gear looking motherfucker, but like, isn't there a guy who's just called Bad Guy in there? Like Soul Bad Guy?
I actually don't know Guilty Gear, so I could comment to tell you.
This is a Guilty Gear motherfucker.
I mean, the smooth jazz that he has for his theme is pretty nice. Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. So, about the crime scene. I contacted HQ about the situation. We've got nothing to say to you, kid. Mr. Faraday substituted today's trial, but I insist you update me on the situation. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid?
I'm sorry?
He looked like he was pulling a gun, but it was just a hand mirror.
He really did. First I thought it was a fucking lollipop, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he got 4 kids.
Well, he's already got the thing, presumably a cigarette in his mouth, though I don't think they can show, like, the specific colors for, like, age rating reasons or whatever the hell.
Hey, I mean, they did it to Sanji. They can do it to him.
Maybe. But he already had something in his mouth was kind of the base logic, so it's like, it's not like he's gonna pull out a second lollipop.
Okay, alright.
Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Macrell, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Is anyone else who went into defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, the big lug over there, his name's Gumshoe. Younger Gumshoe.
Aww.
He's in charge of guarding the place. He claimed that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, right? Maybe. I mean, to be fair, he hasn't inspected shit, like, too much shit, presumably, so... So what were you here to testify about, exactly? The Yatagarasu case is also one of his assignments. Alright. So yet someone else who is on KG8, presumably, and the Yatagarasu assignment.
Classic, classic.
So you're called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not. Jeez, looks like you might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. I'm not your son, Pops.
No wonder Edgeworth has such a complex. If
Yeah.
this is how he was treated in his debut, I
Yeah.
feel like I understand him a little more.
Now let's see how he first interacts with Gumshoe for the very first time. Who, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Name's Miles Jedworth, District Prosecutor. I've told you my name, now would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe, and he just made detective. Oh god.
Alright.
Imagine just making detective, and then you meet Edgeworth.
Oh god.
Make sure I'm not having a crazy dream.
Or a video game.
He is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. So what did you see about the crime scene? Yeah, I have to tell you shit, right? I'm aware. It would behoove you to fill me in on what you know. Jesus, everyone's calling me a fucking kid. Alright.
Okay, actual question. How young is Edgeworth during this?
So the key question is, so it's 7 years before the events of Ace Attorney Investigations, right? Which I think canonically is meant to happen when he's on his flights after Justice for All. Or is it Justice for All? There's that one where, like, in the main series game, Edgeworth calls Phoenix, right? Or I could just Google how old is Edgeworth in Ace Attorney Investigations.
I'm checking.
I was about to go through a lot of mental math. First hit without context says 15. I need context to believe that, but...
Okay, so the year that this takes place in is 2012.
2012, that makes sense. Now, is that when the 7 years ago
His
part
potential birth years are either 92 or 93. So he's like 20, isn't he?
20 I could believe.
Is that how math works? He's like 20. Yeah, that is really young for a prosecutor. Yeah. That's like you're a college-age student, my guy. What the fuck? Like, I would be calling him a child.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like about 20.
Yeah, okay, so for clarification, he's 20 in the flashback. He's about 26 in modern day, like according to the wiki. So.
Okay.
Which, once again, for someone who would need to pass the bar exam and all that sort of thing, it's like, yeah, that's pretty goddamn young. So he's a 20-year-old who's being talked to by probably a bunch of, like, in probably Gumshoe's age, he's probably like 30. Oh god, how old's Gumshoe in this? Let me.
It's Gumshoe.
We need to know. I'm sorry. We do. Okay, so he's 26, and modern day he's 32. Okay, so there's a 6-year time difference. So he doesn't have too much leverage to call him a youngster, but it does also make sense you would only just make detective at 26 if your life was dedicated to copping, as it were.
No, okay, but like the age difference between 20 and 26, chronologically it's 6 years, but it feels way fucking longer. Like,
Right.
Like, I am Gumshoe's age currently, and I would be calling Edgeworth a child. Like, that's what I would... It's like, are you a little young to be in court? Yes,
Yeah.
yes I am.
Anyways, Detective Baz is the one in charge. You're gonna have to ask him for all your
How do we have a
details.
frame of reference?
As for me, I was guarding the door to defendant in lobby number 2. So you were the guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty? Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I just kind of froze. You're a detective, and a gunshot scared you that much.
Is that the popper that the judge reported hearing earlier?
Very well could be. And again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range. And then Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2, and both men were lying there dead. Is that everything? Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Interesting. Other than the gunshot, you didn't hear a single sound of commotion. That's important testimony.
One gunshot, 2 deaths.
Well, one gunshot, but it's presumed, like, the other one was stabbed, right? The prosecutor shot the witness, right, the guy who accused him. But then, like, it said that Mr. Rell had a knife and stabbed Faraday. So.
Okay.
So at least,
I know it's always funky when there's, you know, gunshots and sound involved. Like, I don't think that's wrong to pick up on those details, but at moment, there's no contradiction there.
Okay. So I'm still kind of waking up a bit.
So apparently, someone's here to see Miss Yu. A Kodopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin. Interesting.
We're getting international relations going on here.
Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Yeah, Manny Cochin was the one found not guilty, despite, you know, presumably killing CCU.
Is this caught on camera guy?
This is not Caught on Camera Guy. Caught on Camera
It's
Guy.
not caught on camera guy.
Caught on Camera Guy is dead the next room over.
Caught on right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're perfectly valid. It's like, this is a lot.
I feel like I need to be taking notes.
Stepping outside for a brief chat. Hi, Manfred. Ooh, he knows bad. Okay.
Ooh.
Two old dogs. You usually do when the Yatakarasu's involved, and this is no exception. Interesting. An old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only we'd get a promotion and move on. Moving on, Bad. The man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KGA incident? That was Manny Cochin. I think you said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection!
Oh.
Ooh, an objection. Oh my god!
She looks so fucking young. I think...
Completely different person. Oh my! At first, when I just saw the sprite, I was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
I mean, the voice was very familiar, because obviously it's probably going to be the same voice actors, presumably. You can't de-age a voice actor, but...
Right, but like, oh my god.
But yeah, as far as this scene, right, she is 13.
She looks 13.
She does look 13, and once again, Miles is 20, but in modern day, like, the main game, she's 19, so she's still younger than Edgeworth, even pre-flashback version.
I'm glad that we've established how time works.
Yeah.
How linear time works.
Yeah. You know, I gotta be there to manage these things. Anyways. How can like, Von Karma place me in charge? I don't know, I'm legally, I'm legally an adult in this country.
He can drink.
You're here for summer vacation and you're in a courthouse. Yeah, it sounds like a Von Karma.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So she's here on vacation from Germany. I like the commentary of, she's junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it.
Nicole High. No, you're Nicole High. I'm the senpai.
You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? If you can pass the bar, then I've got every shot. Okay.
Says 13-year-old.
Yep. Why does she always have to be this competitive?
Yes, I am.
I'm 100% confident I could do a better job than him. That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone who's right in front of them. These two will be conducting the investigation. Great, a 13-year-old.
Oh my god, we have to babysit?
Hey, that's probably what Bat is thinking. Well, both of these kids loose on the crime scene.
Okay.
I mean, let's put it this way. Francisca is barely a teenager. Miles is barely not a teenager. Think about that for a hot minute.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. This really is some anime-ass shit.
She does a fucking German-ass curtsy, too. My gosh.
God.
Nothing less than perfection from the both of you. We got it.
Of course. Doors.
Yes, that's my name. Again, this competition. Yeah, she straight up did not say hello in that entire string.
She's been planning out this anime-ass, like, speech in her head so intensely that she completely slipped. Like, she's just not reading it.
Yeah, but you do get to see that, like, in the same way that, you know, I mean, Miles just got chastised for going up to people and immediately demanding details about the case, so he's learned. You can see that it's the well that everyone in the Von Karma family is drinking from, but also that he's learning and trying to pass on that learning, which I think is nice. And she fucking whips people with a riding crop. She hasn't upgraded to a whip yet. Looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. He never fails. I'd appreciate it if you could quickly run me through the facts, detective. Better checking things out on your own. Alright. Getting help from the detective is going to be arduous. Got it.
That all took place in 15 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, I think it took us a half hour to get there.
Yeah.
It's the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously. You should listen to someone until they're finished talking. What are you talking about? This is a competition to see who's truly worthy of the Von Karma. Oh yeah, you have been going on about that.
She needs to get this speech out. She planned it in front of the mirror.
Okay. A competition. Person that figures out the truth first wins. It's the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name. What happens when you lose is the question.
Sacrifice to a volcano.
Yeah. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things coming from your foolish mouth. Whatever makes you happy. Once again, whatever makes you happy. I'm gonna find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am. Yeah, that's practice. No one fucking comes out with that.
I'm telling you, she practiced this speech in front of a mirror.
She really did, it seems like. Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. Hi, Detective Bad. I said kids, kid. The indignation now runs in the family. It won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene.
Hey, I mean, Francisca's actually a kid.
Yep. So Detective Gumshoe is now our steward. Don't get in our way, Scruffy. Ah, there it is.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, I don't like her. You. I'm sticking with you. Oh, the very first, in like minutes, like threatening his salary.
God.
He's so naive, he doesn't understand.
I mean, I barely understand my salary, so hey.
Alright, let's have a word with Detective Bad. Appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Leads to the first question of the investigation. Where did they acquire the weapons? Very natural question.
Sure.
The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. But usually don't those guns come into the court, like, unloaded for this very purpose?
One would hope so.
But, at any rate, it was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. This trial was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well.
It looks like a letter opener.
Could have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented. But then why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? So we have a mystery knife and a known gun. It's possible Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Once again, keep calling me a kid. Looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. It's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. Yeah, it's way too early to be making conclusions. You gotta find the evidence first. Alright. So first thing that draws my eye is actually this window. Just because of the animation on it. Open, and a fresh, flowery scent in the air. They're so gross and ghastly. What do you mean, Gumshoe?
What the fuck?
Think you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window. They would wake up. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? There's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? Thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice.
Yes,
Is a television set worth anything, or...? TV at home is so tiny compared to this. I mean, to be fair, if it's that big when you're looking at it, that has to be like a 46-inch or something.
right, and this is 2012. I mean, 2012 through the lens of whatever fucking year this game actually dropped.
Preservation of the crime scene detective, huh? Interesting. TV has been left on.
Jesus Christ, Gumshoe was getting bullied.
Alright, let's do so. I presume this is his bag? Probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. Do you just not pay attention when you're doing stuff, or what? And there's some plastic bags stacked on the table. And a tea set. Doesn't see any sign of disturbance. The table is perfectly neat and tidy. So it's consistent with what Gumshoe was saying earlier, that he didn't hear any signs of disturbance.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
The plastic bags scattered on the floor meant to throw us off. It's interesting. We haven't seen them, but let's take a look. Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, but... Anyways, so these plastic bags, evidence of a fight between the two men. So now we have a couple pieces of... I mean, it's conflicting evidence, but... their thoughts, I think, can connect at any rate. Yes! It's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, but a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not really likely the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case, is there another explanation on how they got there?
A third person put them on them?
It's possible the blood on the outside bag is related somehow. Right, Gumshoe doesn't do well with blood. Fuck.
Oh.
So whose blood is on this bag? It's Mr. Faraday's. Okay. And they didn't find anything else in or on the bag either. So it appears that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. The bloody bag. Okay.
Alright.
So that's all we can logic right this second. Now we can finally, maybe, get around to the bodies. Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However... using logic, the only logical thing is... Aha! What was that outburst for?
Yeah?
It was Mr. Rell that fell first. You don't need a detective instinct. Yeah, it's more common sense.
That's just kind of how physics works.
So let's take a look at the bodies. First, I'm very curious about the knife.
Oh, absolutely.
Died with the knife in his hand, and there's some blood stuck to it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? And did he bring it as a piece of evidence from the trial, or did he bring it with a different intention in mind? Alright, so now we just have some generic knife notes. Let's see about the gun. Mr. Faraday died holding the gun in his right hand. It always feels like a question of, was he a righty? Would that have been his hand?
Yeah, like whenever they mention, oh, he did this with his right hand, he did this with his left hand, it's like, okay, you're specifying. I need to make note of this.
Yeah. So he fell on top of him while still gripping the gun. I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not really rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Without doubt, I ever need to use one. That was probably what Mr. Faraday thought too.
Yeah.
But it does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. I mean, that's fair, but yeah.
Appreciate the optimism there.
Yeah, it needs the police screening procedures might need a thorough review. Alright, so we have some notes about the handgun. And I presume at least examination of the bodies will give us some notes about the bodies' positions. So he died in a courthouse. Spend your time continuing the investigation. Did you become a detective or to solve crimes? Then get back to work. Find the cause of his murder. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see something. Left hand. So his hand is all black down here. Its blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. He is a lefty.
Huh.
I usually get ink
Okay,
on my own hand when I use my feather pen.
Uses a feather pen. God.
But only left-handed people know the ink smudge pain, and I guess I should throw in the ambidextrous there, but even I write with my right hand, so.
Yeah.
But that seems to be everything.
Alright, so this is definitely, like, for me, pointing to, like, a third-party manufacturing this scene.
I would agree. Yeah. Of, like, something with the bags, something about the thing.
Weird blood bit there where there's, like, it's, like, just that one and no other bags.
Right.
Like, putting the gun in the right hand instead of the left. Like, it screams someone manufacturing this.
And someone who perhaps didn't know the prosecutor well, or didn't know him well enough to know he was a lefty.
Right.
It's also very suspicious, because if you think about a classic death scene, right? If someone gets shot, they can sometimes live through that for, like, a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you
You
get...
don't just, like, get shot and, like, instantly die unless you're shot in, like, basically just the fucking head.
But if
But
you
even
get...
there, then there are some places where you can, like, live it out for a bit longer.
But if you get stabbed, and it's like, it is a stab that's going to kill you, exsanguination by a stab or a slice is much faster, right? So...
And it's supposed to leave a lot of blood. Humans have a lot of blood.
That was my other thought. The knife is, like, even disregarding this, like, underneath them, the knife itself is also very clean.
So, like,
and
I'm
also...
considering this room not even to be, like, the place of death.
And also, you
At
gotta
this
consider, Mr. Rell is under Mr. Faraday. The guy who got shot fell before the man who got stabbed. Does that make sense to you at all?
No. Not particularly.
So I think I strongly suspect this is the part of the game where it's been so long I don't remember how any of this goes, but I think
Like,
Francis.
we can theorize together.
Yeah,
Fun.
it's fun. So Gumshoe is questioning whether someone's trying to hide something. But yeah, we also need some information about cause of death and, like, the wounds.
Of course. Let's get some, like, timing in here. And that'll probably be what kicks off the whole questioning on, like, fucking hello?
Yeah. Also, Francis is like, you're not able to form a
Ordering.
theory with them the way they are. I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to find the perfect evidence, don't you? Let's have an aside with Ren for just
Hello?
a second. Sorry.
Oh, sure.
Um,
No, you're good, you're good.
um,
Hi, Ren.
She's not able to hear you, and unfortunately wouldn't be able to even if she was right here. She's also yeah. Well, because you're in my headphones, you gotta understand. That's part of the logistics that I'm thinking.
Yeah, like okay. Can you tell her I said that?
I will tell her you said that. Yeah. So Bad doesn't approve.
Oh.
Now, come on, Gumshoe. Keeping that emotional involvement is what makes you you.
Absolutely. Not everyone can be a fucking detached creature.
Yep. Let's take a look at... There's 3 things I see. The knife wound, the gunshot wound, and the pen. The gunshot wound next. He's been detected for a week and he hasn't fired around yet. Interesting. There aren't any burn marks in his clothes.
Huh.
So it's usually left when a shot is from point blank. So Mr. Ellis has been shot from at least about a yard or 2 away. Like, 3 to 6 feet.
Ooh, we got an ergo. I love when we get an ergo.
You know a bunch of neat stuff your age, pal. This detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial.
Ooh.
There's something in the breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. So I'm pretty sure with that... I always keep a pencil behind my ear. Yes, I noticed. Because Detective Bad is always telling me to always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. I love how Edgeworth knows that. So first, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence, aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and countered Mr. Faraday while being shot. The 2 men fell together where they stood. That was my theory in any case. Does sound like a crazy way to go. But yeah, even saying it aloud, Edward's like, wait, there's just something
Doesn't
not right.
feel correct.
There's something not quite right. Yeah, I think the last trigger is putting this logic together.
Logic.
Because I think that's the last piece. Splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be from the ink from his fountain pen. Confirm the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I guess Faraday assumed he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to her case as well. So the fountain pen more or less symbolizes
His handedness.
his handedness.
And that's gonna be what cracks this shit wide open, this fucking pen.
Yup. We can't conclude that they killed each other quite yet. Still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there's another possibility. So I just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. Deduce it.
Deduced.
Eureka!
Eureka!
Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen,
Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the gun is in his right hand. Which is very odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand. That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Now, here's when the detective starts asking the right questions. The leading questions that get Edward to talk.
Here we go.
The facts add up to one conclusion, one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Plastic bag scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person with vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us.
Alright.
Autopsy report. It's probable that Mr. L survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from stabbing. Okay, good to know.
What is that?
Looks like we know everything we need to know about this case. Oh, do we now? Prosecutor went into a rage from being accused, tried to kill the defendant, but the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. Very clear and simple. Absolutely no margin for doubt.
Oh, sweet, sweet Francisca.
You believe that's the truth? No. Oh, I will prove you very wrong. Here we go.
1v1 me.
That does feel very Francisca of this age. So his death, Faraday's death was instantaneous while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. It's obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell, and Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. So, yeah, we gotta prove that logic false first. Alright, so of these statements, nothing objectionable here. That's correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Also correct. Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. I think we could press that, but let's continue on. Alright, so I think we need to press this, perhaps. Due to the dying, Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday. Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. The two men struggled. In the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle.
We have very different definitions of messy room.
I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. It must be clear and precise. If you could append that statement to your testimony. So they struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Now here's the question of which part. Let's check to see if the crime scene notes. So he was shot from a few yards away. That could be part of it. I'm more thinking about like the signs of. Oh, you know what? It might be Gumshoe's testimony. He didn't hear a sign of the struggle. I was like, what counters a struggle? Oh, the testimony.
There was no struggle.
The two men were fighting. Their struggle would surely cause quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified he heard absolutely nothing. You placed too much faith in that detective's testimony. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So what I'm saying is this. Mr. L took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And Mr. Faraday shot Mr. L after being stabbed. Is there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Yeah, there's something off,
There's
because...
definitely something off about the distance that
Well,
that would imply.
Well, more than that, Faraday died instantly upon being stabbed. He couldn't have fired the gun.
That too! There are many things wrong with this statement, actually.
Yeah, the distance doesn't matter just yet.
Okay, alright, okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the crime scene notes just say that he died instantly.
Died instantaneously. There you go.
That he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that.
Ergo! So salty.
If the report is correct, there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, then they both died. That's the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
Someone's just recently learned the word foolish.
How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you still got a ways to go. There is a flaw in your logic. Mr. Faraday died instantly, and that fact is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. And we already know in that the order the bodies fell.
Right.
So what you're arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and struck back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain the order in which the bodies are piled? Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. And that is impossible for reasons we've covered above.
Right.
Objection!
Not so fast, Miles Edgeworth.
I can still crawl myself out of this hole.
Think a bit more outside the box. And it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She bounced back quickly from that. Explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. What happened, part 2?
1v1 me part 2.
There's just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. Two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. We'll press that third statement, but I think this is the distance part now.
This would definitely be the distance one. If they attack each other at the same time, you have to be within stabbing range. But stabbing range wouldn't bring about the fucking bullet
lack
hole
of-
conditions that we're seeing here.
Exactly.
Hold it!
They attacked each other at the same time. Assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. It made to attack Mr. Rell while holding both the knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rell grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that's more than possible. And to that extent, I'd like to append what you just said to your testimony. Yep.
We're gonna need it.
Attacked each other at the same time from close range. Alright, so... Bullet that killed Rell was fired from a few yards away, so evidence from the handgun shuts that down but it's also impossible to kill each other at close range.
Womp womp.
I think that this might also mean that both the crime scene notes and the handgun would have worked, but the firing of the handgun did not lead to gunpowder burn on Mr. L's clothes. It must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. It's, a little more than 1 to 2 yards, but, we'll let it slide. The two bodies are piled on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. L moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. Oh, she's pulling out the fools.
Oh god, she's mad. She's really salty.
If I'm not right, then who was it who made the first move with the intent to kill? Person who attacked first? Neither.
The third party.
Yep. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. L, and who now puts Gumshoe's fucking testimony in doubt. And set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit. There's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, right? Everything I've said now is nothing but a story played out in my head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime scene? Absolutely. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. And I think it's the bloody bag is the last piece not brought into play.
That's what I was thinking.
Because what else would be perfect to not only cover a knife that, would get blood on your clothes and keep your fingerprints off the knife?
Take that!
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. So Detective Gumshoe's testimony. In the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning someone else deliberately scattered them around. Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter for when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they can conceal their presence.
But they couldn't do it too much, or else they would be making a lot of fucking noise with that.
And potentially wasting a lot of time.
Right.
So we've still got a long way to go in this investigation.
Objection!
Oh? Oh god. Judge Sprite.
Yep.
What the fuck?
We this is the part that, this is the natural conclusion, unfortunately. So, Detective Gumshoe is under arrest.
Oh no, that would be the natural conclusion. Oh yeah. Okay. Fuck. We have to bail him out.
Yeah. The detective claims he was there standing in front of the door the entire time. I have it on good authority that was all a giant lie. Oh. What does that mean? I'll let His Honor explain it himself. So, with my own eyes, during the recess, there was a period of time when there was no... Oh. No, I'm good. Whoopsies. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. So why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? I don't think he has the stomach for it. Which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. Looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth or so help me.
Oh my god.
Hold it!
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation. Oof. Spicy from Bad. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. Which I ask Detective Gumshoe for that. Why he wasn't in the hallway? Probably. Why are you missing from the hallway for a span of time? But there's testimony against you, Bad. Only logical reason as to why his absence is that he's busy committing the crime. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool. Ask about something else. Okay.
State of the hallway?
State of the hallway? Take it no one else was in the hallway at any time, correct? You're being awfully defensive. Might be hiding something from me. I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point.
Jesus Christ!
Okay, about...
Okay, okay.
We'll ask about motive. I don't know if this is something we're supposed to ask about all 3, or if it's like, hey, this motherfucker had literally no motive to do this. One thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Got a grudge against Faraday or anything? Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday. What do you have, you?
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Against you now.
Okay, 1v1 me.
Yeah, I don't have any evidence to dispute that. I think we need to press each statement, and we might get, like, quote-unquote, forged loss in their particular.
Hold it!
So a detective gets chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of a precinct.
really have a laughing problem, huh?
Doesn't take much seriously, it seems. Salary cut for you. What? Okay. It's really enjoyable
Christ.
too. That's why I saw Detective earlier. Oh, steer clear of him. I mean, you do have something on your face. It's a bandage.
Really need to
Oh.
get better lasers.
Oh, Jesus,
Oh.
you.
Oh,
Christ, this woman.
okay, she just went in.
Hold it!
I suppose I did. Gee, yeah. Harsh.
Hold it!
I'll raise an objection, I guess. We know about the relation. I think the motive for Rel would make sense.
I mean, in this instance, Rel would just be a witness at this point. He'd kind of have to in order to kind of
Cover
clean
it
up the scene, right?
However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rel? Why not wait until Faraday's alone?
That would have been a much better way to go about it. For sure, for sure.
Now I'll glare at you all I like.
It is.
I wish you both shut up for 1 second. Alright, part 2. No one out there to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. Well, I think we have a piece of evidence that might say otherwise.
Well,
I really have to establish that someone had a grudge against the two men. Mr. Rel, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set out to look like they had killed each other.
that would be the natural through line, assuming from the start that Gumshoe did this.
Now, I wonder, is it... I'm trying to think. The Yatagarasu would kind of make sense. Manny Kochin, I wonder, is... Because that's who jumped to my mind.
Hmm.
Let's press on
Hold it!
no one. Because pressing is free. We just saw someone like that here earlier. Okay, so let's present, and I think it is Manny Kochin.
Objection!
I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? Not laughing now, are you? Looking for someone with a reason to kill Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rao. I could think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was a suspect in the original KGA incident, and a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Manny Kochin.
Ooh, and the piano's kicking in.
The very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Rel, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KGA incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Kochin has no reason at all to kill both these men? You may have a reason or two. Saying I covered for you is not helping your case.
That's really not good phrasing.
You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold. Will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Kochin for me. Remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of this leak out. Oh! Want to investigate Kochin? You'll just be wasting your time. And why is that? Kochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived. The only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. Now you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway? Then why should I believe you didn't do it? Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a contradiction there, and I think we know what side of it he has to be true, because I don't think we would believe if Gumshoe 7 years from now, if he was actually guilty of murder, would be standing in front of us. So, for reasons unbeknownst, there was someone else in the hallway, and it's someone Gumshoe does not want to talk about for some reason.
Gumshoe boy.
Most criminals will fabricate some kind of lie to escape their crimes. If that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, I think he would at least offer up I spaced out while on duty or the like. Time for an interrogation. Alright, so Gummy's being led away.
Gummy?
As I say is that! Oh, there's 2 men dead in this room.
There are 2 men dead in this room.
Should get back to our real jobs now, huh? Before we do, monsieur, there's something I'd like to speak with you about. Your connection to the KG-8 incident. I've heard people have been calling it the second KG-8. Only among the law enforcement types. I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident. Oh, you don't know anything about what was reported in the beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, you... It was... was in the paper.
Not gonna make any headway like this. Just gonna have to show her. Yeah, you see this name? This name, you?
Yeah, Mr. You. Same last name as you.
I have proof of your connection to the KG-8. Tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8. Through the victim. Gotta
Why
love.
do you laugh at everything?
Does she have like one of those tics where it's like she's laughing but she's not actually finding it funny?
Maybe. You were just gonna say it? Oh my god.
Not related, just kidding. Tell me the truth, you. Let's talk about Manny Kochin. He came to watch the trial. Apparently he only found out that I was the defense lawyer in this case after he'd arrived. Figured he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. Christ.
Wow.
I gave him a good slap across the face. Yeah, good.
Good.
It's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. Surrounding people in the galley claimed that he was in the seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Anyways, let's back up a step with KG-8. Yeah, sisters. Killed right before she was supposed to testify. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, gets to live out the rest of his life with no chance for double jeopardy. Evidence to convict him did exist. A man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. Smuggling ring being run out of the Amana group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Kochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along.
Holy shit.
But nothing new learned. I'm just sorry. After it's the best medicine, and you're about to OD. You need to fucking chill. I'm charged with making sure all the criminals of the world are found guilty. And I don't have a need for laughter. He's lying even though the lie is hurting his chances. Which is very interesting. Christ, he's still in simp mode for Manfred von Karma. Alright. So we will save here. At this stage, I do actually need to make something to eat. So I'm actually going to end the stream on Twitch. I will come back to it, provided that you're around / interested, Anaya.